Hello, everyone. Welcome in. This is John Jang. I am here to present to you today about Royal Caribbean's accessibility in cruising. So just wanted to say thank you all for joining in. You guys come on in while you are getting things ready to go. Please type into the chat box if there is how long you've been an agent, and also who your platinum leader is. That'd be greatly appreciated. I am recording this session, so just in case for those that came in later on, or if you have an issue or couldn't make it, you can watch the recording. So I'm going to cover quite a bit of things today. We're going to talk about packing tips. We're going to talk about Embarkation Day. We're going to talk about the Royal Caribbean app, your muster drill, staterooms, dining, both some tips and also complimentary options and your specialty dining options. Getting around the cruise ship, activities throughout the ship. We're going to break down some of the drink packages, tips on shore excursions, if you're doing transportation from the airport to the ship or and ship back to the airport, and then also your debarkation day. All right, so packing tips. So Royal Caribbean is going to be a little bit different. They're not as strict as Disney was for the cruise that I was on, but there's still some extra tips that I want to let you know. You want to bring magnetic hooks to hook up like caps, or if you're in the bathroom or anything like that and you need to hang up something, you can hang up some things there to like hang dry or something like that. In the accessible staterooms on Royal Caribbean, I didn't see a clothesline like I did 2 clotheslines on Disney. So I may have missed it, but I don't think I saw any clotheslines coming onto the ship. You want to pack maybe like an extra change of clothes, your swimsuits and your carry-on bags for embarkation day, especially if you're checking bags in with the porters at the port. So if you have like those big like suitcases and you don't want to lug those around, especially until your room is ready. You'll want to bring like a small little backpack or something and put in some extra clothes, your meds, things like that. You are allowed to bring a non-surge protected power strip. Okay. We didn't have any issues with that. Now there are ones that you can get like the multiple plugs in and you just plug it in. You can do that too. There are also plenty of there's 2 at the desk, and there is 1 by the bed that you can use as well. All right. Of course, bring your any prescription drugs that you may need. You want to pack those in your carry-ons, not in your check bags, because those will take probably a while on embarkation day. You may want to bring your own shampoo, conditioner, and lotion, especially if you have skin allergies or deal with dry skin. The body and hair shampoo wash is 2-in-1 on Royal Caribbean. So you will want to be aware of that. Okay. If you are bringing a manual wheelchair, you want to make sure they're wheelie bars. Okay, because there are metal lips in the hallways every once in a while on some of the dining rooms and things like that in the hallways as well. Do not bring walkie-talkies. See, okay, so you either have to buy a Wi-Fi package and have it on multiple devices and have it per day so you can get in touch with people, or you can buy the chat app through the app. It is $14 per person for the whole entire cruise. In order to have it, each person has to pay for it, not 1 per room. Okay? You can look up multiple people and add them to your preferred favorites, but in order to chat with one another, each person has to buy the chat. Okay. Travel mugs for sodas, you can bring those if you're not planning on buying a drink package, or if you're just planning to buy the water package. You can bring that for your lemonade, your tea, your water, and your regular coffee in the buffet area or in the coffee shops, things like that. If you are buying a drink package, especially the soda package, refreshment package, or the deluxe beverage package, which we will go over in the drink package section later on, they will give you a souvenir cup and you can use that on board. So you don't have to bring your own if you don't want to. Okay. If you plan on having pool time on the day of the ship when you get on, make sure you bring a couple extra swimsuits just to be on the safe side. If you don't feel like doing that, you can. I just invested in a portable mini dryer for drying clothes on the go. Takes like 30 minutes to dry clothes. Mine is on the way, so I'll let you know later on how it does. But it's about $40 to $50 on Amazon, and it's very portable. It's very easy to use, and it even comes with like almost like a hose, so you can blow air in it. So if you go to a place where it's like cold, and let's say you want a warm bed, you can use it to heat up the bed, heat up the blanket, something like that. So you don't have to bring your own heated blanket, because those things are a pain in the butt to travel with, right? You'll definitely want to bring sunscreen, especially for your Caribbean ports. If you're prone to seasickness or motion sickness, I would recommend anti-nausea patches or Sea-Bands. Or non-drowsy Dramamine, but I would recommend to stay off the Dramamine if you can, because even the non-drowsy kind can still make you drowsy, okay? So the more natural ways of doing so, there's the anti-nausea patches or your Sea-Bands. There are ones that are like the natural kind, or you can get ones from your doctor via prescription as well, scopolamine or meclizine, okay? And for those that are disabled or need assistance, I would recommend you to bring maybe a folding step stool for the bed, just in case you need help assistance getting into the bed, because even for an accessible room, the beds are pretty high. Okay. All right, so we're going to talk about embarkation day. So when you complete your check-in process on the app or online on the computer with your reservation, you will select the time of what time you want to reach the port. You can go maybe a little bit earlier, depending, but it's to help crowd control. So make sure you have all your boarding documents with you. So you'll want to make sure you have passports. If you're not traveling with a passport and it's a cruise that starts and ends at the same port from the US, then you can travel with a state ID or driver's license and birth certificate. Not one or the other, you want both. And you want to notify your clients about that as well. And if you are vaccinated, you will want their COVID vaccine cards. Now, make sure you do read the current health and safety information for COVID regulations, as they may change at any time. Currently, right now for Royal Caribbean, you must have a negative COVID test to board if you are calling to the Port of Columbia, for those guests that are 18 and over. If you're going on a transatlantic cruise, for those 5 and over, you must have a negative COVID test, regardless of vaccination for all these, okay? Or if you're cruising from Australia, for ages 2 and over, okay? Vaccinated guests must have at least the first 2 vaccines, and the booster is recommended, okay? For wheelchair passengers, be prepared to be patted down just like you do in airport security. You will just allot time for that. It goes by fairly quickly usually, but it just depends, okay? It's always good for accessible passengers to travel with a traveling companion. So whatever is that they're carrying, that person can just go ahead and go through security. That way, then the wheelchair passenger can go straight on through to get patted down, and then you can remove everything from the belt and proceed on. Now, Royal Caribbean boards based on your Crown and Anchor Society tier level. Okay. They will announce who is allowed to go on board at different times. They'll start with the top of the top, which is their pinnacle level, and then they'll go from top to bottom. If you've never cruised with Royal Caribbean before, you will not have status and you will be most likely one of the last groups to board. Okay. Target when I was in Galveston was actually around almost 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock ish, or about 1 o'clock ish, actually. Almost 1 o'clock is when we were decided. So it's based on your tier level. So when you do your check-in process, it'll give you the times that you can go on. If you can pick the earliest time that you can, great. It's based on your tier level. So they integrate that into the check-in process as well. So next thing is the Royal Caribbean Cruise Line app. You want to download this prior to getting on board the ship. Okay. This will have all of your events, your activities, any dining, all your excursions that they offer, all the entertainment, and also account tracking, and also your safety briefing as well, which we'll go into in a bit as well. You will connect to the ship's Wi-Fi and use the app for free. You can connect to the ship's Wi-Fi and use the app for free. If you want something outside of that, you will have to pay and purchase it. Like I said earlier, there is a chat feature which you can use to communicate on board if you choose not to use Wi-Fi, because you will not be able to use your any walkie-talkies whatsoever because it interferes with the radio frequency on board. Learned that from Disney. So despite what the internet says and whatnot, I would not recommend walkie-talkies whatsoever, just to be on the safe side. So you don't feel like, oh, you spend all this money and it gets confiscated. You will receive it back at the end of the cruise, but I would recommend you just leave your walkie-talkies at home. Okay. Like I said, the small fee is $14 a day $14 per person. Sorry, not per day. That is wrong. I will fix that before sending it out. So $14 per person for the whole cruise. I meant cruise/person. Okay. And there's some events that you will want to pre-book, things like that, pre-register, things like that. We'll go through some of those things as well later on. So your muster drill layer safety briefing. On your app, you will have what's called a set sail pass. You can use that, or if you're doing your check-in process on a computer, you will have to download and print your set sail pass and bring that with you. If you're someone who doesn't want to deal with a lot of paperwork, if you really don't have to, use the app. They'll have your muster station on there, and they'll let you. And on the app, actually, it'll tell you where exactly your muster station is. Because when you get on board, what you'll want to do is on the app, there is an area that says safety. It has a little life buoy on it on one of the icons on the bottom of the app. You'll want to go through there. You'll want to go through the life that on the day of while you're waiting to be boarding the ship. Okay, you go into your app, do the safety briefing. It'll show you how to do a life vest. How to put on your life vest. It'll then show you how to know what the emergency signal is. The 7 short blast and the long blast of the horn. Okay, and there's some tips and tricks and things like that. Okay, everyone in your party has to do it. Not one per room per person. Then once you get on board, all you have to do is show your set sail pass, since you won't have your key cards yet until you get to your room. Okay, once you get on board, you'll report. I would recommend you do first thing that you do, even before you drop off your bags or go get a drink and you're probably hungry, things like that. It's so simple. Do your safety briefing, get on board, go to your muster station, scan in, and then you can go about and go ahead and go about your day with the rest of your stuff by dropping stuff at the room, go grab a bite to eat, go get your first drink on board, meet up with people, get in the pool, whatever. Very simple scan, 1 minute on board. Finding your muster station is one thing, but on the app, it gives you a map and it tells you exactly where to go. All you do is scan your set sail pass with the crew member there, and you are good to go and enjoy your cruise. Okay. So, staterooms. Okay, there are a variety of staterooms that you can get. If you're looking for an accessible stateroom on Cruising Power, or you can call Royal Caribbean themselves, there will be a wheelchair symbol, and it will show you that there are accessible rooms available in these categories. And because of that, then there's also a button that you'll select here on Cruising Power for accessible staterooms. Okay, you'll want to book ahead of time, as these will sell out quickly. There is definitely enough room for your chair to be in, for a wheelchair or scooter to be inside of the room. Royal Caribbean will separate the beds if necessary, or they will have one bed. Both the bathroom doors and the room doors are actually all manual open. There is no automatic doors like Disney was for the front door. Okay. There is a slight ramp, a little bit, that goes into the bathroom, so just be aware of that. You do not need a key card to turn on the room light. There is what's called a master switch at the front by the main door that turns on and off all the lights in the room for the whole room. And of course, there's different individual switches as well but you must have the main switch on in order for you to turn on or off the rest of the room lights that you need. Okay. So, dining. Okay. For your main dining room, there's early, there's late, and then there's my time dining. Okay. This is a tip that I want to give you. When you're on board, kind of think of when you normally want to have dinner. Okay. When you're on board, you want to go ahead and go into the app and reserve for my time dining. You need to reserve times for each and every single day of your cruise. You want to go ahead and schedule that in advance so you can get your preferred dining time. If you don't, you most likely will be dining at a much later time than you really want to. Okay. In the app, you'll just hit reserve, how many people, time. There you go. You're booked. Okay. For your 7-day sailings, you do have 2 formal nights. Sorry, this was from I kind of reused my Disney one. There's no semi-formal night, but there's 2 formal nights. Okay. For your accessible guests, you want to get there maybe about 5 to 10 minutes before, just in case if there's a wait, especially for my time dining. For those that have the early or late, you just normally just walk on through, and they'll have it. If you're confined to a wheelchair, if your guests are confined to a wheelchair, they will remove a chair for the wheelchair to be there. If you get the specialty dining packages, either the 3-night package or the unlimited, okay, you want to pre-plan your dining, because you want to know what days you want to go, what venues you want to go to, and approximately around what times. Now, you'll have to do this on your first day when you get on board the ship. In the Royal Promenade, which is usually deck 5 or deck 6, depending on the class of ship that you're on, but you'll definitely want to go into the Royal Promenade. Okay, and they will have little they'll have table stands with staff. There's usually like 1 or 2 on each end, the forward and the aft of the ship, where there'll be crew members or dining representatives there, so you can talk to them and let them know. I did the 3-night package with my friend. We did the steakhouse, which was Chops Grill. We did Giovanni's, the Italian restaurant, and then we did the Izumi Hibachi. And I'll go into some more of those different options for you later on. So for dining, you got complimentary dining. You got the Windjammer Buffet, which serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner, which is usually kind of towards the top deck above the Lido deck. or the pool deck area. There's definitely the dining room that serves like the plated course by course meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There's boardwalk dog house for your hot dogs, sausages, things like that. Pizza at Sorrento's, pretty decent pizza, I might say. They changed. You'll have your staples of cheese, vegetarian, and pepperoni, and then you'll have like a pizza of the day. Like one day was a barbecue chicken pizza, one was like American style pizza, one was like a supreme pizza day, things like that. They change it up on a day by day. There is Park Cafe. If you are on a ship that has Central Park, which is an outdoor area, I was on the Allure of the Seas. It was on deck 8, and this goes from the front to the back of the ship as well. And it's like an outside area that has lots of greenery and outside space and outside dining. And then late at night, and then in the evening around dinner time, there'll be like a guitarist and things like that. And this is where Chops Grill, Giovanni's. There's a fine wine bar. There's a couple of shops on here as well, things like that. And they serve breakfast and lunch, and it also has a coffee shop there. So if you get like the drink package, like the refreshment package and things like that, or and above, you can get your lattes, you can get your espressos, you can get your cappuccinos, iced lattes, chais, things like that. They serve a hot breakfast as well as like you can make your own bagels with cream cheese and salmon, for the morning. And for lunchtime, they have make your own salads. They have pre-made salads. They have roast beef sandwiches. They have different types of hot sandwiches that you can order as well, and also your coffee, desserts, and also your freshly squeezed orange juice, which is awesome. In the morning, there is Boardwalk Donuts on the boardwalk, which is right across from Boardwalk Doghouse. That has your donuts and coffee till about 9:30 in the morning on a daily basis. And then some ships will have the Wipeout Cafe or El Local Fresh. This one has Tex-Mex, so it makes your tacos, nachos, quesadillas, as well as soft serve ice cream. And there's also a drink machine there for your sodas. There's Royal Caribbean uses the fountain sodas from the Coca-Cola Freestyle machines. So if you don't just want an ordinary Coke, but you want a Coke with vanilla or lime or lemon or other varieties, they have it. Now, we're going to get into specialty dining. Now, specialty dining is dining that has a cover charge. So, yeah, and they have packages. They have an unlimited or a 3-night package that you can get. Chops Grill is your steakhouse. Giovanni's is your Italian restaurant. Izumi Sushi as your sushi and sake sushi bar, basically. It's all a la carte. And then there's Izumi Teppanyaki, which is the hibachi grill. If you have the dining package, either 3-nighter or the unlimited, it is included, but there is a $10 cover charge that will be charged. So just be aware and notify your clients about that so they're not surprised about it. Johnny Rockets is like burgers and shakes, kind of like a 50s diner style, kind of like In-N-Out, but a little more jazzed up. Okay. I didn't have Johnny Rockets this time, but I was like, I can get burgers at the buffet if I really wanted a burger. They do have a Samba Grill, which is a Brazilian churrascaria or steakhouse. This place, I wanted to do it, but my friends and the group that we were going to be dining with decided to choose the Italian restaurant instead. And we really wanted to do teppanyaki as well. And we're like, well, might as well first night we can fancy it up a bit. Let's do the Chops Grill, So we decided not to do the Samba Grill. Samba Grill, churrascaria, if you've never been to a Brazilian churrascaria or steakhouse, this is basically, there's usually like a salad marketplace bar that has all your cold cuts, some cheeses, some salads, and some hot appetizers like beans, rice, plantains, and whatnot. And then there's the meat selection. that's hot off the grill. They have these very long and slender knives. I would call them swords, really, because they look like a sword. And they have beef lined up. They have meat, different types of meat and different cuts and different types and different season type of meats on there. And then they come by to your table with these hot meats and they cut it in front of you. And there's these little tongs every once in a while that they'll need your help for. And you just grab it onto your plate and go from there. They'll have a red card and green card. Red means stop, you're taking a break, or like there's way too much food for you to get that you need to stop and work on the plate that's in front of you. When you're ready for more, you just flip it to the green side and then they'll come again with more meats. Playmakers, some of the newer ships, Playmakers, it's a sports bar. And they'll have like your wings and burgers and salads and wraps and where you can look at the different games and things like that. That's Playmakers. On Allure of the Seas, it wasn't on there yet, so maybe on the newer Oasis class ships and definitely newer on the Quantum class ships, they will have Playmakers. And it's a pretty cool, fun place, I've heard. So that is all the specialty dining I could think of fleet-wise. Now, on the newer ships, there are some more items that's like Central 150, 2070, or 270. Those are also other venues that may have a cover charge. So there's more updates to come, but this is like the general list that I can think of off the top of my head, but there may be more, of course. So next topic is getting around the ship. Right? If someone has a manual wheelchair, like my friend does, make sure you have the wheelie bars in the back of the chair to help you with the lips. You'll probably need to pop a wheelie every once in a while. And little bit notes to me, I thought it was only about helping. I know about it like helping her support. So if she does lean back or fall back, she actually has another set of wheels to anchor it so she doesn't officially tip over. But I never knew that you could actually use wheelie bars to help pop a wheelie. I think I had to physically do it because I've always dug my knee in the back of her and then lift up. And she told me on the Disney cruise that you've never used the wheelie bars. I'm like, I didn't know you could use the wheelie bars for that's what they're meant for. I didn't know. Hallways can be a little narrow, slightly, for if they are cleaning rooms. But this was actually the stateroom designs here were a little bit better. I think, personally, it was better for Royal Caribbean to be more accessible than a little bit more than Disney. Disney was a little bit slightly more narrow. The rooms, the entry doors for the rooms are a little bit more in. Then they're not like right against the hallway, but there's like little entry areas for you to step in. Now, some rooms, like some of the interior rooms, those doors open out versus open in. So it just depends. Okay. You'll definitely want to get to activities a little bit earlier and kind of be prepared for some lines or maybe some seats that are not the greatest, because especially accessible seatings are going to be towards the back of the theaters, back towards the event. So you want to be prepared for that. You're not going to be able to go on to like towards the front area unless you get there ahead of time and there is space for that. Okay. Activities, you definitely want to check the Royal app or times. They may change if needed, maybe the venue or maybe the time because of weather, maybe. You want to get there a little bit earlier, especially your theater shows, so you can get a good seat. Be prepared for lines, anything like that. You'll want to pre-book some of these. Some of them may have a reservation. There was the Ice Thieves, and because on the Oasis class ships and above, they have like the skating rink. There was a show called Ice Games. I was thinking my dining wasn't going to take me that long, and it was at 9 o'clock. Then Ice Games show on the first night, and we didn't get a chance to go. and it's a place called Studio B, and it's full of ice skate. It's a ice skating rink galore, and they have like a show and things like that. So you want to kind of pre-book it and plan ahead. There are some things that are reservation only, like a lot of the comedy shows. You want to book those in advance, things like that. Any spa treatments, your excursions, your dining packages, your photo packages. Sorry, not character tea parties. I forgot to delete that out. You want to book those ahead of time. First of all, they're cheaper before you book. Second of all, they are probably going to be most likely sold out if you try to get them on board. Now, spa treatments, things like that, I recommend you. Sometimes you can't get a discount on spa treatments, but a lot of times they'll run some sort of promotion on board. Like I was able to get like I think it was like a 90-minute treatment for like 169. And it wasn't that bad at all. They did a really good job. It was very nicely done. And it was one of the ports. A lot of these ports that I went to this time around was Cozumel, Costa Maya, and Roatan, Honduras. I've been to these ports before, so mainly because it was holidays. And also my friend, she was not feeling that great. Her allergies kicked up. After her allergies kicked up, the drainage from it infected her throat, and so she was coughing a lot, things like that. So she didn't really get to enjoy much of the cruise this time around. She was really just trying to get better. So like Honduras, I went to go buy a decongestant and some cough medicine and allergy medicine so I can help clear it up. When I finally went to Costa Maya, I was able to get her some Benadryl, some cough drops, Mexico's version of cough drops, which didn't really quite work for her. Eventually, I just bought Altoids because the Altoids have like a very strong peppermint to help with her throat. So you would definitely want. So it was more of a shopping cruise more than like an excursion cruise. So this time around for me, but on board prices are much more expensive, and they will most likely be sold out if you book on board. So we're going to break down some of the drink packages. Well, the drink packages that Royal Caribbean offers. Okay, so they have a choice of a water package. So a water package is where bottled water, because ship water is desalinated water. So they take the seawater and they filter it out. Some cruise lines ship water tastes very funky. Love Carnival to death, but Carnival is one of them. Okay. But you can pre-order bottled water and have it be, and they will deliver it to your stateroom on the day of the cruise. There's a 6-pack, 12-pack, or 24-pack you can get. Now, if you want to, you can get the classic soda package. This is the cheapest of. This is the second cheapest of the drink packages that they offer, including the water package. Okay, it's charged per day per person. Classic soda packages have unlimited fountain sodas during your cruise, plus a souvenir cup, which is redeemable at any bar or on the Royal Promenade on the first day. You do have fountain soda machines located at the Windjammer, Royal Promenade, and you must have the souvenir cup to get the soda out of these machines. I see people trying to get soda with regular cups, and they're like, "Why doesn't it work?" I'm like, do you have a drink package here? Comes with a souvenir cup, because on the souvenir cups, there is a chip on the bottom of that, so it knows that you bought a drink package. All right. And then there's a refreshment package. Refreshment package has all your sodas, all your non-alcoholic drinks, all your specialty coffees and your teas, and any freshly squeezed juices, and of course, water bottles. Okay, still and sparkling. So this includes your lattes and your cappuccinos and your fine teas and things like that for the refreshment package. Then you go into the deluxe package, beverage package, which is alcoholic drinks. All of your alcoholic drinks, your sodas, your non-alcoholic drinks, specialty coffees and teas, and freshly squeezed juices and water bottles. Still and sparkling. There is a Starbucks on board, but is it included in your drink package? It is not. And grande white chocolate mocha frappuccino cost me $10. Okay. Give me your bubbler. Now, if you are traveling with someone who doesn't drink alcohol, but one person does and wants to get the package, you can tell Royal Caribbean after the reservation has been made, at least the deposit has been paid. Okay, you can call Royal Caribbean and let them know that there's one person, and that particular person's name, you have to get that person, doesn't drink. And so what they'll do is they will adjust the drink package price to have one person having the deluxe beverage package and one person, the other person will at least have to pay for a refreshment package, okay, which is the middle one. And you'll have to call Royal Caribbean to take care of that. You will not be able to take care of that online, okay? Now, there are tons of bars throughout the ship to get drinks, most on the main decks, which are basically your non-stateroom decks, okay? Royal Promenade had a lot of bars. There's at least like 3 or 4 you can get. Whole deck has a couple bars. Near the Windjammer has a couple bars, things like that. There's bars galore that you can go to. So, shore excursions. I recommend you to plan ahead. If you are looking for accessible shore excursions through the cruise line, slim to none. Sorry to say. So I would recommend you to book or check external sites such as Viator, such as Shore Excursions Group. If you're looking for accessible shore excursions, you may need to check with, you just need to Google accessible shore excursions. And there's one company, they do cost a little bit more extra, but their name is, his name is John Sage. He runs a accessible Caribbean excursion company, things like that. I want you to check the steepness of the gangway for your wheelchair passengers. Please. Have the traveling companion to do so. Double check to make sure the gangway is not so hard to get off and on the ship. Off normally is not a big issue. It's getting back on that has a little bit of an issue. Okay. There is more assistance that you can. There's like security guards, and there's people like right at the gangway that, oh, they'll say a wizard, and they'll be prepared, but be prepared that you need assistance as well. Okay. And so just be aware of that. Now, transportation from the airport to ship and back. If the cruise line offers transportation, go ahead and go through it. Especially if you feel like the price is very reasonable, which usually it is. It is pretty reasonable. Okay. Worst comes to worst is checking with Uber or Lyft may be cheaper depending how far you have to go. Okay. Now, if you are driving to your port, embarkation and debarkation port, you'll want to reserve your cruise parking ahead of time. Okay. On Royal Caribbean's cruise at Port of Galveston, I was cruising out of Galveston. I didn't pre-reserve because I was like, I might as well just go ahead and go. Because with my friend who's accessible, we needed to make sure that we had space and a reasonable amount, and we had to make sure that the shuttle at the port had a lift for her chair to bring her to and from the port. We paid about $150 for the week for a 7-day cruise. You will pay upon entry, and you will pay upon whenever you enter it, and then you will then go from there. Now, debarkation time. Now, Royal Caribbean, this is the first cruise I'm going to encounter this, but Royal Caribbean allows you to pick a time for you to leave the ship on your last day of the cruise. There is this area in your app where you'll hit departure. And what they'll do is then they'll like give you an option of what time you're going to get off the ship. I chose to get up around 10 o'clock. Okay. And then if you are checking bags, if you're checking bags off the ship, you want to make sure that the luggage is set out the night before at about 10 o'clock or 10:30 in the evening with the luggage tag. And you'll want to make sure that you remember your zone number. Your zone number is going to be given to you on your tags. You'll get 2 luggage tags per person. Okay. Now, if you really need more, you can go to guest services and get it. You'll want to make sure you remember that zone number because they're going to call your zone number to get off the ship. Okay. Now, when you get off the ship, there are porters, the people who help you transport your luggage from the security point to the parking lot area or for the shuttles, things like that, to the outside of the terminal. Okay. If you have booked transportation, they will drop it off and then the transportation people will load your bags onto the bus for you. Night before, you want to make sure your bill for the whole entire cruise is settled before you go to bed or the morning of before you get off the ship. Now, I would recommend this beforehand, before you get off the ship, the night before. Reason being is because morning of debarkation can get very hectic. You need to pack up the last few things. For those that are checking bags out too, like having them take your bags, make sure you save an outfit before you check those bags and they take your bags away from you because you don't want to get off the ship naked or having to take one of the towels from the room and things like that. Because then you'll be charged for the towels, which is usually like $20, which I don't think is worth it. But make sure you leave an outfit outside of your luggage to make sure that make sure you have it. So that is the end of my presentation. I'm going to show you a little bit of tricks and things like that. Now, I will show you how an accessible room does look like. I didn't take many pictures this time around. But here's a small video I'm going to play. This has it. So it's fairly big, really nice color scheme.
It is an ocean view, handicap accessible with balcony. We were on a guaranteed cabin, so we were fortunate enough to get this, which gives us a little extra room. Sorry, it's a little messy because we came in yesterday. So it's extra wide, and we have a toddler, which gives us a lot of extra room with him. This is the bed. That's a closet. So it's very similar to other cabins, but we have just extra width. And there's the balcony. I'm not going to go outside. It's pretty much, we are at Coco Cay right now, getting ready to go. So the bed is a trundle. Let me pull it out real quick. Let's see. This is what the bed looks like. Pulls all the way out. Our toddler loved it. And this is the space. And then the Bathroom is typical handicapped accessible bathroom. So a little less storage, but there's a lot of space in the shower. And if someone needs the bench, you have that. So it does get a little wet in here. That's the only thing, but it's not too bad. So that is the ocean view balcony handicap accessible on the Symphony of the Seas.
Okay, this one was Symphony of the Seas, which is a quantum class ship. So the one that I had wasn't.
Hey YouTube, thanks for coming
Wasn't,
back to Crit.
wasn't as wasn't as big. But the great thing about the balcony is that there is a ramp and a little lip. There's a little ramp that allows the chair to go out, which is really, really cool. That's what I liked about that. There was some other things I wanted to show you. Yes, there were some things such as the things that I bought for the things that I recommend, like magnetic hooks. Just want to make sure that like these are simple enough. They're not that much. There's 10 of them for $6.80. I just bought another pack of them because I left the hook parts. I have the magnetic bases, but I don't have the hook parts. I left those on my Disney cruise. So I had to reorder new ones. So I just got those. I just bought like a 20 pack, and they're very easy to use. And they're good for your caps. They're good for any wet clothing, things like that. The anti-nausea patches. I showed this on my Disney one, but there's ones that you can get. You can get the wristbands. You can get meclizine. That does help. To some people, say Bonine also works as well. So it just depends. And this one does have meclizine in it as well. Some people use essential oils, like peppermint usually helps nausea and things like that. The patches that I got are recommended by Amazon. 什么事啊？等一下，我在上课。我在用东西了。These right here, the MQ motion sickness patches. There's one that was specifically that was at Amazon's Choice, something like that. Right here, yeah, right here. There's 2 per pack inside, and then this was like a 30 count. And so that's one thing that you can use as well. That helped me a lot. We did have a little bit of bad weather, but it wasn't too bad this time around. There's the portable mini dryer. I just bought that. I should be getting very soon. I just bought it. I'm going on a friend invited me to on a theme cruise. And so I'm going on a cruise later on in January. This is the one I'm talking about right here. It's a portable clothes dryer. It's mini clothes dryer. It's a travel dryer machine for apartments, small clothes dryer. You can put your swimsuits in, things like that. What this does is this bag pops out, and you put your things in. You put your stuff in the bag. You plug it in, and then you dry it, and it should be done within 20 to 30 minutes. I'll let you know how it goes. I'm not sure how it works and things like that, but I've heard pretty decent things about it. So when worst comes to worst, if you feel like it doesn't work that well, but you just want to be careful and be aware of it, things like that. There's some reviews here, so that's another thing I would recommend. So thank you all for your patience. I know I started a little bit late and I don't see anything else. So please, you feel free to reach out to me in one of the team chats. I'm on Team World Explorer with Courtney Palladino. And I'm also a travel trainer and presenter as well. So feel free to ask questions away about anything. I thank you again for your time. And thank you for everything that you are. Thank you for being an Evolution travel agent. Couple of reminders. We have the convention coming up in June of next year. Tickets are on sale right now. They are live. So you will, if it's something that you are interested in doing, I recommend you. Oh, I have to go to the other site. I'm at my travel site. If you're interested in going, I recommend you to attend this event. This is something that you don't want to miss. Tickets are on sale in your travel cafe. Okay. There was a link for it. I thought there was a link. It's not there. Back on this. 1 second. Oh, there we go. Sorry, it was first. And then there's this link right here. There we go. So June 29th through the 2nd at the South Point Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. This is where you go to register. This is where you book your hotel for the convention. We do get a lower resort fee for it and a little bit of a break in the price of the hotel. Now, if you're like me and want to go and enjoy myself in Vegas and explore a little bit, like this year, I kind of want to take on what Charles Lee did, skydiving. But they only do that on a Sunday, I think it's like on a Sunday or Monday. And so I will fly in Sunday, relax and chill and do it like early Monday morning. So but you can book your hotel here and book your convention tickets here. It's $349 for agents and anyone who you're bringing along that's not an agent or is not planning on joining for like trainings and things like that. That's $149. They'll have like the cocktail reception. They'll be able to do the gala night. They'll be able to do the breakfast in the morning, and they'll be able to do the family barbecue as well for the $149. Okay. Thank you again so much for your time and efforts. Thank you all for being Evolution travel agents and being a part of our team, World Explorers. My name is John Jang. Hope to see you on future travel trainings or even marketing trainings or team building trainings. If not, see you around the beaches of the world. Take care. Have a great day.